Jai Hind everyone, I am Dr. Monika Agarwal from AKGEC Engineering College, Ghaziabad. My subject is Soft Skill 1, Code KNC 101. The topic of today's lecture is Debates and Discussion with special focus on unity, coherence and emphasis. The content of the lecture has, first of all, what is debate, then what is discussion, and then what are the essential elements like unity, coherence and emphasis during debate and discussions. So, first of all, what is a debate? We know that debate is a verbal argument. It is a kind of verbal exchange of ideas that is conducted within a set framework. Okay. It is a process of communication that involves formal discussion, okay, and that discussion is on a particular topic, means the topic is taken up in advance and that topic has both the sides, the in favor and or against, and then people make a formal discussion in a set framework and try to share their opinion and try to argue in favor of their opinion. So, arguments are put forward and that is to argue for opposing viewpoint. The two people or the two parties which are there, they are to share their opposing viewpoints with valid arguments. So, people can disagree in this forum, they can disagree with opposing views and they have to disagree in a structured setting, in a formal way, and they have to give the other participants also a chance to present their point of view and to defend their point of view with valid arguments. And then the person reaches at the conclusions or the other people they make a conclusion. So, this is the common framework of a debate where the focus is on contesting. The people with opposing views are exchanging their opinions and supporting their opinions with valid arguments, facts and other proofs and evidences. These kinds of activities of called debate takes place either in certain meetings, in office meetings, in public meetings, in media, in academic institutions, in assemblies, in legislative assemblies, and more or less as a contest. Okay. The people are there to compete and to prove their opinion or their standpoint. It is also taken a competition thrown among the students, okay, and that is to improve their thinking, their speaking, their communication and other you can say their whole point of view. On the other hand, there is discussion. So, what is a discussion? Discussion is a simple act of talking about something. This is done with other people, there may be two people, there may be more people, and they are telling each other their own ideas and opinions. Okay. But this time they have to share their opinion without any feeling of competition. So, it becomes a process, as is written here, it becomes a process. So, discussion becomes a process where people exchange information whatever they have, they exchange their opinion about the given topic in a face to face situation, okay, and their purpose is also to achieve a goal, because every communication activity has some or the other purpose. So, in discussion people sit together, they have some point, they have some question, they have some topic to discuss about, they share their own opinions, their experiences, their ideas about that topic without any feeling of competition, and there they have to find out all the aspects regarding that chosen topic. Okay. The goal of this discussion, what they want to achieve may be some increment in the knowledge, understanding of people who are involved in the process of discussion. Okay. It may be some agreement, some common consensus leading to some decision or some action. Okay. It is not necessary that a discussion should end up in agreement, it may end up in disagreement also. Okay. It may end up in disagreement, okay, and that may lead to competition, that may lead to you can say further point of discussion, okay, or that may also lead to a resolution. People take a resolution that now they are doing this, now they have to do this, okay, or it may result in status quo. Status quo means there is no improvement, neither an agreement nor disagreement nor any feeling of competition, the thing may be postponed. So, these many may be the goal, any of them may be the end product of the discussion. When we talk about discussion, there are mainly two types of discussions. One is the spontaneous discussion, which is done on the spur of that moment, that is the need of the hour, or the situation is as such that people need that they have to discuss about this thing. The other is planned discussion, means when people find that okay, they have to sit on a particular date on a particular fixed time, and these many people will be there and they will discuss about. Such discussions take place in a formal setting, in formal meetings. Okay. Group discussion is also a kind of that planned discussion. So, this is discussion where there is exchange of information, exchange of idea, but without any feeling of competition. Okay. So, we cannot take debate and discussion both as one and the same activity, they are not exactly the same, because if we look at these two activities closely, we find that a discussion is an exchange of opinion where the people are without any animosity, without any competition, because as the word discussion suggests detailed conversation. Okay. Discussion is made up of a word discure. Discure means to shake well, okay, and to try to find out the essence. So, here discussion is a detailed conversation or a detailed, you can say, talk on a particular topic with people exchanging and sharing their assertions. There may be two people, there may be more than two people, and there they are to establish the validity of the topic. They want to take out the value, the essence and the validity of the topic taken up for the discussion. It may be some problem, it may be some issue, it may be some new idea. Okay. So, people sit together, they have a detailed conversation regarding that topic and they want to establish the validity of the topic. So, it is a mere exchange of opinion with an open mind. Okay. Whereas, the word debate suggests a sense of deliberation with a competitive feeling. We know that there is a competitive feeling, they are debating and they are defending their opinion by putting forth the facts and the information and the logical arguments. So, debate becomes a formal contest of argument, that is a contest of argument, whether it is for some competition or some, you can say, to win prize or to win the support or whatever, but it is a contest of arguments between two people. Okay. Now, what is the need of understanding this for students as a soft skill? Okay. Because these are the situation where people have to prove themselves, they have to establish themselves and they have to make a meaningful contribution towards the goal of that, whether it is a debate or it is a discussion. So, a student or an aspiring professional must learn this soft skill of debating and discussing, and there are three essential elements which I am going to discuss about, which are very important while you are putting forth your opinion and speaking whether in debate or in a discussion. Okay. So, taking part in debates and discussions requires communication skills. We know that without having sufficient command over language and the command over communication skills, we cannot express ourselves well, especially in a formal situation. Okay. So, this also requires some stylistic features, some elements, okay, and which elements are necessary to support our opinion, our thought or our argument which we want to put forth during a debate or a discussion, because we have to establish our viewpoint. So, to establish our point of view, we have to ensure the three essential elements in our speech, whatever we are speaking, and these three features are unity, coherence and emphasis. Okay. These are the three features, inherent element which should, stylistic features which should be ensured in framing our speech or framing our arguments. So, first of all, what do we mean by unity? Okay. Unity means oneness. We know that unity indicates to being one and the single unit. Okay. So, here we indicate towards the unity of thought. Here unity means unity of thought, means the one and the same thought should be maintained with integrity in our speech or in our argument. Okay. So, when we are in debate or when we are in a discussion, we need that unity in our discourse. Okay. It means that the entire opinion should focus on one single idea. Okay. At a time, we should put forth one single idea, and that single idea should be supported by supporting details. Okay. And we should explain the main idea. Okay. There is one single idea which we are putting forth, and the supporting details and the supporting statements should explain the main idea, that single idea. In fact, the concluding sentence of the speech at that time should also be related to that one single idea. So, this is the meaning of unity in our discourse, in our speech, that we should focus on one single idea at a time, and then we have to establish that one single idea with the help of details and other examples or illustrations, whatever logical arguments we have. Okay. And even when we complete our speech, we should focus on that one single idea only. Okay. Then our opinion becomes unified, means it has unity. Okay. So, the test to find whether the unity is there, that our opinion should be summed up in one single sentence. Okay. That single sentence has that one single idea. So, the remaining sentences are a kind of illustration, a kind of explanation of that one single idea or one single statement. Okay. When we write something, this is called a topic sentence. When we speak, that becomes our key statement. So, the entire opinion must be unified on its structure also, means there should be grammatical accuracy also, and there should be oneness of thought. Okay. So, the whole sentence and the whole speech, which may comprise of many sentences, should focus on the key sentence. That is what we mean by unity in our discourse or in our speech. So, how to maintain unity? That is the question. So, there are several ways to maintain the unity of thought in our speech. The very first is, or very obvious is, using a key statement or key sentence. Okay. And that is to state the central idea, which I have told you already, that using a key statement means when we start or when we say something, we should frame a small sentence that contains the whole meaning, and the later sentences will explain, will elaborate the meaning of that sentence. So, that is using a key sentence. Then it is also important, equally important, that there should be no second central idea, means when we speak, we should speak and maintain the unity of thought. We should introduce only one central idea. That should not be and you can say an amalgamation of many ideas. Okay, one single idea which should be explained well to be established. Okay, so no inclusion of the second central idea, because that will divide the opinion, or that will distract the listener. Okay, that will weak, make the our opinion weak, because we have to make a statement, then we have to establish that statement. That is the way to take part in a debate or a discussion. Equally important is that we should not include any irrelevant sentence or irrelevant example. Okay, no irrelevant or disjointed sentence should be included. All the sentences should be connected to one single idea. So, no irrelevant illustration should be there. Whatever example we give, whatever fact or figure we give should be directly related to the main idea, the central idea. So, this is the way to maintain unity in our speech during discourses like debate or discussions. Now, the second element is coherence. Coherence means sticking together. Coherence means having a connectivity, okay, well connected, smoothly connected, shift without any jerk. Okay, it is a kind of gliding of thought, okay, flow of thought. It means that there is a perfect and smooth connection of ideas at the idea level, means the idea is one and the same throughout the sentences, and every sentence logically leads to the other sentence. Every sentence should be well connected logically with the previous sentence and the coming sentence. That is the meaning of the word coherence. So, it is very important to arrange and link all the sentences to the main sentence, and that is the way to make our listener follow our thought. Okay, that is the way that our listener will be easily understanding, smoothly grasping our idea, and the listener will be along with us towards the explanation and towards the elaboration of that idea. So, this is very important to maintain this coherence in our speech. One sentence should be logically connected with the previous sentence and the coming sentence. There should be no gap of idea in between. The disjointed expressions is the lack of coherence, incoherent, and that incoherent speech will leave our audience baffled, and will not be able to establish our opinion. So, coherence is must. All the sentences with one unified idea, unity of idea in a speech flow smoothly from one sentence to the next sentence. So, this is to understand and this is to maintain in our speech. So, how to maintain coherence? That is again the question. What are the ways? What is the methodology? The very first thing is repetition of key terms. It is a very obvious, very naive, very simple thing that when we speak about something, that some topic, we have to repeat that keyword, that key term or key phrase related to that central idea. For example, if we are writing about a paragraph or paragraph writing, then we have to repeat this term, or the devices for paragraph writing, we have to repeat this term. That is why, and this repetition should be meaningful, it should have logic. Okay, there should no unnecessary repetition, otherwise it will turn into redundancy. But this repetition of key term, sufficient repetition, limited repetition relates to the central idea. Next is use of synonyms. Synonyms are the words with similar meaning. So, we have to use sometimes the synonyms to avoid redundancy, because the same term repeated again and again becomes redundant. To avoid redundancy, we can use synonyms. For example, I have given this example. If we want to say to connect, so we can next time say to associate, right. So, that is to bring you can say freshness and to break the monotony and avoid redundancy. Next is use of pronouns or relative pronouns. We know that pronouns are used in place of noun, and this avoids jerk. Okay, that is a good and a very natural way of maintaining coherence. So, we have to use relevant pronouns, relative pronouns, okay, that is used to avoid needless repetitions. Next is transitional words, use of transitional words. Transitional words are a part of vocabulary and sentence structure, and these are the indicators of different type of relationships. So, if we are moving forward, we have to use these transitional phrases or transitional words to indicate the relationship between the previous sentence and the coming sentence. I have given some examples of transitional words like moreover. If we want to add on to the thing which we are saying about, we can use moreover. Okay. If we want to put another add another thing, we can say besides this, that is a parallel thing. Okay. These are the traditional transitional words to help bring coherence in our speech. Parallel structures, these are also grammatical units. They are used to call attention to the similar idea in a better way, okay, with full of attention. Okay. I have given an example to understand what are parallel structures. Parallel structures are made of the same grammatical unit, same part of speech. Okay. We can understand this. They argue not only about the article, but also about the review. So, these are this is the parallel structure which are used with the help of coordinating conjunctions. Okay. Not only about the article, but also about the review. So, this becomes a parallel structure 1. Okay. So, this is parallel structure. So, these structures are used to emphasize and used to maintain coherence. Now, the third element, that is emphasis. Emphasis is a word which is derived from a Greek word amphinin. Amphinin, which means to display. Okay. This display means to put forth something for attention. We are deliberately showing this. That is the purpose behind using this word emphasis in English, because in English it means to put some extra stress or extra force. Okay. In speech or in writing, this emphasis helps a lot to make ourselves clear in front of our audience or our reader. So, while making arguments in a debate or during a discourse, we emphasize the important thing, and we emphasize to refer to the intensity of expression. Means, if we want to give more importance to that word or to that phrase, we emphasize upon that. Okay. We put extra stress on that word or that phrase, and that indicates the importance or the special significance, right. So, to show the importance, to show the significance, we use this device, that is emphasis. So, how to bring emphasis, right? The first thing is that we should start forcefully, a forceful introduction, and that is done with the help of putting the essential idea first in our speech. Okay. And that is very natural, because if we begin with our opinion forcefully in a key sentence, okay, and that will give an impact over our listener, that will attract the attention of our listener, because the first impressions are normally lasting impressions. So, a forceful introduction helps in bringing emphasis on our viewpoint. Okay. If we find that it is more important or more formal and more, you can say, literary, then we can give the central idea at the end. Okay. So, the major key sentence can be put at the end of our opinion, but that will leave a takeaway for the audience, and that end is the longest remember. Okay. Another thing is purposeful repetition of keywords. As I have said earlier in coherence, that purposeful repetition of keywords brings emphasis. Okay. So, careful arrangement of words, purposeful repetition of words gives special weightage to that particular part of our speech, and that highlights and shows the prominence or the importance of that part of our speech. Next is using examples and illustrations. If we want to emphasize upon the special point, then we have to support it by citing relevant examples in our speech, some illustrations. Okay. If we are using some board or some other device or some other aid, we can show them the illustrations. Otherwise, we can cite certain examples to emphasize upon the intended argument. Next is comparison and contrast. Okay. That is a very used way of very much often used way of emphasizing, because if we want to emphasize upon something, we bring out the similarity of that argument with other situations, or we bring out the difference to present the stark contrast. Okay. So, these are the ways to emphasize upon the intended argument. Next is, if we want to, we have some very important thing to emphasize, we can devote most of the time of our speech on that part. Okay. If we are writing or if we are speaking, then we allot more time, more space on that important idea, and that is to emphasize that important idea. There are certain mechanical devices also, means the devices which are which can be seen or heard, and if we have to speak in a debate or in a discussion, then we will use our voice as a tool. Okay. So, we will use the paralinguistic features of our voice, that nuances of our voice modulation, and the important thing is raising pitch. Okay. We can raise the pitch slightly higher to emphasize upon that particular part, or we can put more stress, we can take more time to speak that word, or we can give a better and clearer articulation of that word or that phrase during our speech. When it comes to writing, there are certain mechanical devices like capitalization, italics, bold, other using symbols, different color, font, etc. in text. Okay. So, but here we are talking about debate and discussion. So, during debate we can raise the pitch slightly higher without breaking the rule of etiquettes and decency, to put emphasis upon that particular part of our speech or argument. Okay. I have given this sample here, it is a small sample. If we are speaking or we are writing, this is a small paragraph on paragraph development itself. Okay. I read it out and then I bring out that how I have used and ensured 3 features of unity, coherence and emphasis here. That there are logical orders in which a paragraph can be developed. These logical orders are the spatial order, deductive order and inductive order and chronological order. We find that the first statement brings the key statement, and that is the central idea, that in the coming sentences I am going to discuss about several logical orders for paragraph development. That is the statement in the beginning to draw attention, and then I have given the several orders in sequence. Then spatial order can be established through the arrangement of visual details in some consistent sequence, as from left to right, east to west, near or distant and vice versa. We find that now, since I have given spatial order first, that spatial order is again discussed first, and this is the way to emphasize the importance, the important element in the spatial order, that is visual details, means spatial order emphasizes on the visual detail. So, here I have used this mechanical device of underlining. Again I have used this mechanical device of underlining in bringing out the speciality about other logical orders for paragraph development. Okay. You can find it, this is to bring emphasis, and here I have capitalize it, because in chronological order the time sequence is important. So, I have made this bold to emphasize, I have underlined these parts to emphasize, and you find that there is a unity of thought, because this first sentence tells us in advance that here is the discussion on the various logical orders for paragraph development, and you find that there is a coherence from start to the end, and I have taken up one spatial order, then deductive, then inductive order, then chronological order in the order in which I have mentioned it earlier. So, if we read it, it gives a smooth feel. If we listen to it, it gives a flow of thought with unity, coherence and emphasis. So, that is it with this topic. I hope you understand this well. Thank you. Jai Hind.